The Oxford Dictionary defines sexism as a prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination typically against women on the basis of sex. Women have disproportionately faced sexism, especially in the workplace, for decades. In the 21st century, institutions in the United States are still discriminating based on gender by allowing an 82-cent pay gap for every dollar, and this indiscretion must be addressed by passing the Paycheck Fairness Act. Congress should pass the Paycheck Fairness Act because it addresses the loopholes in the Equal Pay Act of 1963 and affirms the United States constitutional values in regard to liberty, economic freedom, and equality. So that brings us to what the Paycheck Fairness Act aims to do. According to Congress.gov, the bill addresses wage discrimination on the basis of sex, which is defined to include sex stereotypes, pregnancy, sexual orientation, gender identity, and sex characteristics. The bill directs the Department of Labor to establish and carry out a grant program for negotiation skills training for girls and women, conduct studies to eliminate pay disparities between men and women, and make available information on wage discrimination to assist the public in understanding and addressing such discrimination. The bill also establishes the National Award for Pay Equity in the workplace for an employer who has made a substantial effort to eliminate the pay disparities between men and women. Finally, the bill requires the EEOC to issue regulations for collecting from employers compensation and other employment data according to the sex, race, and national origin of employees for use in enforcing laws prohibiting pay discrimination. This leads us to the history of the bill. It has been proposed in numerous sessions of Congress since 1997, and it was proposed to address discrepancies in the Equal Pay Act of 1963. According to the American Bar Association, as the Supreme Court recognized in the 1973 case of Corning Glass Works v. Brennan, the act was designed to remedy what was perceived to be a serious endemic problem of employment discrimination in the private industry. The fact that the wage structure of many segments of American industry has been based on an ancient but outmoded belief that a man, because of his role in society, should be paid more than a woman even though his duties are the same. Despite this country's clear goal of eradicating wage discrimination, we have allowed the statute to become outdated, thereby limiting its effectiveness as a tool to remedy gender-based wage discrimination. You might be wondering, why hasn't the bill been passed yet? The act has been presented to Congress and has continued to fail in various stages. It has either been passed to the House, died in committee, or been referred for jurisdiction. In 2007, the Lilly Ledbetter Act was passed. In the case Ledbetter versus Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, the Supreme Court ended the long-standing precedent that held that employees cannot sue for pay discrimination under the Civil Rights Act if their employer's original discriminatory pay decision occurred more than 180 days before they initiated the claim. The American Bar Association states, the act made it clear that each discriminatory pay check, not just an employer's original decision to engage in pay discrimination, resets the period of time during which a worker may file a claim of pay discrimination on the basis of sex, race, national origin, age, religion, and disability. The American Bar Association explains, with Republicans in control of the Senate, the legislation made no headway in the 116th Congress. In fact, since its first introduction in the 108th Congress, the House of Representatives has passed the bill 3 times, each time when it was controlled by the Democrats, and the Senate has never voted on its merits despite its efforts to schedule the bill for a vote. The Republican alternative, likewise, has not received attention since its introduction. So why hasn't it been passed, and why is there even opposition to fair pay? There are people who believe that men really do work harder and deserve the 82 cents to $1 pay gap. There are also people who believe that by supporting this bill, they'd be taking away job opportunities for men. Carrie Lucas states in her article, Paycheck Fairness Will Mean a Pay Cut for Men in the Wall Street Journal, that women whose husbands, brothers, and sons are struggling to find a job find no comfort in women's comparatively low unemployment rate. And such meddling would be disastrous for the economy, but particularly men should be warned. Bureaucrats micromanaging compensation standards will mean many male workers will expect a pay cut. Lucas prefaces her statement by saying that wage discrimination is already illegal, so it's a phony argument. She then contradicts herself by stating wage discrimination is legal multiple times. Her ignorant argument is full of fallacies. There are plenty of single working mothers that are working twice as hard as their male counterparts. There are also women who make more than their partners and are considered their household's breadwinners. Lucas might as well be telling women that they should get back in the kitchen so their husbands and sons can go find jobs. So what happens now, and what do? We as a nation need to continue to push to get the Paycheck Fairness Act passed to address the discrepancies from the Equal Pay Act. In an interview done by the Civil Liberties Union, Lilly Ledbetter states, I want to see Paycheck Fairness passed because had Paycheck Fairness Act been allowed at the time I was working, I would have the right to ask my employer where I stand in relationship to my peers, and I could ask my coworkers what they were making and tell them what I was making without any retaliation. It is necessary in the name of the Constitution and equality that our nation pushes to get the Paycheck Fairness Act passed. It will update the definition of a work establishment in the Equal Pay Act. It will strengthen solutions under the EPA which deter any further violations, enforce oversight, and prohibit retaliation for disclosing salary information. Go talk to your congressional representative today and speak out against unequal pay if you support equality and our constitutional values. Thank you for your time.